Mm-hmm.
Oh my God!
So,
no!
speaking
No!
of,
No! No! Oh,
we're
he's
talking
not
about
his
problems that can
teeth.
happen. Yeah, I saw some pics sent to me of Mr. Blade's teeth, and
Is this the steroid using guy?
no, this is a guy who, his like foot is in the process of like it's probably gonna have to be amputated because of like alcohol induced diabetes that's just totally untreated for a long time. And so yeah, it's not just limited to the foot. Looks like
it definitely wouldn't be milliliters. By the way, I just did some like common sense thought process. I was like, 200 milliliters.
No, I already said that.
Okay, I don't know how big a milliliter
like
is.
micrograms or
nobody-
moles or something.
For example, 355 milliliters.
Kyle, if you want to get jacked, you're gonna have to put a can of soda in your ass.
I've been crushing these diet A&W cream sodas. So good. I got 11 more in there. I picked up a 12 pack today. I'm gonna crush a couple right after this show when I'm eating some turkey.
Yeah, I got a 12 pack today. Yeah.
We're not so different, you and I.
No, of course not.
Yeah, but these teeth, like, what is that on the top of it? Is that just plaque or is it?
Oh,
I didn't realize his name
like
was Blade.
rotten?
I saw this earlier, but I couldn't make sense of it. I'm like, Blade? Like you hit with a knife in the teeth? Like, what the
Only
fuck?
Use Me Blade is a play style he did in Call of Duty. Everyone else is shooting, and he somehow found success with just knives. And that's just been his name ever since, even though he's not playing COD a ton anymore.
it's his YouTube channel name. All of his social media and shit is sort of centered
And
around
life's
that.
been kind to him since then. It looks like.
Oh, super! He's been so successful. It's like he keeps finding new things to excel at.
Yeah.
Like
Drinking
and necrosis.
What loss?
I think he's probably got the
not wasting money on toothpaste.
nearly. Yeah,
This is bad. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he
that was
like,
Woody's limit.
he's not going to kale his way out of this. He's he needs to go to the fucking hospital.
Even my dumb ass realizes these teeth aren't coming back with a little George Foreman chicken and some kale.
You don't have to shoulder that yourself, Woody, because for a while
This guy does enough push-ups. He'll just be a slightly stronger man with rotted teeth.
For a while, I don't have any background in necrosis. Like I don't know what's going on there. It looks to me like a pretty, not a mild sore, but like a kind of sore that, like I went hiking with a
his
dude.
Current goal is of $20,000, $2,500 to destroy his RV. I didn't even notice that until I clicked on this link again.
Yeah, that's what he should be focused on right now.
Yeah, presumably after destroy RV is save teeth.
I blew an RV up one time for like $87. It's not that expensive.
Anyway, sorry, Woody. I didn't mean to interrupt your story. So, how did you know him?
I've done that. No, I was saying that the necrosis in his feet, to me, I've gone hiking with the dude, right? We went hiking in the Yosemite. When he took his boots off from all the blisters and stuff, it looked worse than Blade's feet. So when I viewed it through that lens, like just the picture of the worst, awful blisters ever from hiking. And I was like, dude, that guy healed in like 4 days, right? Yeah. If Blade, now obviously Blade would take a little while to turn around, but if he would just be a healthy guy, his injury didn't look that much worse to me than, 5-star blisters. And the teeth thing, though, that's not a normal condition. That's not like anything I've seen before.
Jeremy.
Hiking.
Yeah.
Jeremy's teeth are
Jeremy's
worse than
look
this.
like?
They're
Really?
worse.
Aren't they?
Well,
fixed?
Jeremy has dentures now.
So he's looking good.
They fall out.
They fall out.
I'm trying to figure out what that those ridges are in the close-up picture.
He's missing the enamel, right? That's just gone.
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess so. It looks like he's missing some teeth on the left side toward the upper back area.
Would that be
There's
like
something
the
going on
top?
there.
But I would say he needs help.
Which picture?
And the
are you-
lower back.
I want to know what's going on
over
when this
here.
picture is taken. Like it looks like he's in like pain gritting his teeth.
Could be experiencing non-ejaculation.
Yeah.
Blade.
I mean, wouldn't all of life be fucking painful if your teeth were like that? Like toothaches
Dude,
are renowned for
You
how
should
painful
start
they are.
posting. No, that's too mean. Never mind.
I feel like he's suicidal. Like
Too bad for Kyle.
I can't get my head anywhere.
Taylor?
Oh wait, I'm talking about Blade.
Oh.
Oh yeah, no, we got crossed up.
Oh my God, I just scrolled up to the teeth holes. I didn't see that.
No, don't do that.
I was on the bottom image. I didn't know about the top image.
Yeah, that's what I was talking
Yeah.
about.
Oh
Like,
my
I don't
God,
know-
oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, oh no.
Oh, yes.
This is the one
Oh.
he's reacting to.
He needs the $20,000 to get those teeth repaired, not for an RV.
Yeah, I looked at this earlier and it said a close up of Blade.
They don't
teeth
look like they're
holes.
in there very
And
well.
I didn't understand it was a streamer named Blade. I thought it was someone who had been hit in the head with a knife.
No, it's
If you look at that, it looks like someone just like fucking chopped
Yeah.
off the top of the enamel. of
You're
his
like, what
teeth.
is this? A whole channel of health problems caused by blades?
Yeah, I looked at it for like a second. I'm like, I don't want to see this, and moved on.
he needs some,
I'm back to my breast
a
painting.
toothbrush, maybe some smart mouth.
Ooh.
Think smart mouth is gonna be enough.
Yes.
I think he
To
needs
start,
Taylor,
I think he needs
I've
a
asked this
dentist.
question before, but
Can't
I'm going to
hurt.
modify it just a little bit.
Yeah.
You're in the park. You're hanging out. To your left is Blade. To your right is a squirrel.
Yep.
Which one would you prefer to randomly bite you? There's going to be a little blood.
The squirrel has coronavirus.
The squirrel.
Yeah.
Squirrel does
squirrel.
not have coronavirus.
I might still prefer the squirrel.
I'm going with the squirrel, and then I'm going to go to an urgent care, get a couple quick
Team
shots.
squirrel? Team
Yeah,
squirrel?
Team squirrel. Team squirrel.
I need to think
Because I
this.
feel like a squirrel mouth is dirty, but his like a human mouth.
Oh,
Human mouth is fucking disgusting.
I like my odds of my skin versus his teeth. I think that.
No. That's part of- He's like, come on! Oh, God.
I shouldn't have gone for the cat.
No. Wait. All that happens is after he's bit you, there's bits of his teeth still left inside you.
Oh
Not
no!
injecting that shit.
They
It's
gotta
like,
take it out like a stinger.
yeah,
That's actually worse.
it's like a bee's fucking stinger.
Oh, I'm gonna
exactly.
go squirrel if that's the case.
All teams.
That squirrel's
squirrels
chewing
all around.
acorns all day long. Those are hardy teeth. They're probably clean. You ever see a beaver's teeth?
Yeah, they're all orange because they have iron in it.
Yeah.
Really?
It's pretty cool.
Is they
Yeah.
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's how they're so powerful and strong. Beavers, nature's engineers. I like watching.
This is a fucking documentary now. Hey,
Fuck
keep
off.
going.
There's like literally a documentary like called.
Tell them about
Beavers.
the tail.
Tell them you guys know exactly the
Tell them how
genre.
many chambers the dam has.
Their tails are brown.
Bobby, it has dozens of chambers. But we could blow it all up with propane. But like exactly the genre of like nature documentary where it's not planet Earth, it's like the octopus, beavers, squirrel, and it's like one thing.
Mhm.
And in every one of those, there's at least 3 or 4 researchers whose entire life is devoted to this one animal. And there's always snide little remarks from them. And I noticed it the most in the beaver one on Netflix, where they'll be like, frankly, the beaver is the most fascinating animal in existence because it's the only one that builds its own environment. And the fish, there's idiot fish Terry. Devote your life to fish, retard. The study of what he's devoted his life to is entirely contingent on my animals and what they decide to do in the habitat. And when you think about it, isn't that more impressive than an elephant? And it's like, dude, stop having such an inferiority complex about studying beavers. I think they're cool too. I wouldn't have gotten drunk and started your fucking documentary if I didn't think so.
This is a guy who's heard one too many pussy jokes in his career. He just wants to study the animal he loves and be left alone.
Yes, I study beavers.
Never enough funding. No
But wait, don't you want to see how
fellowships.
many chambers are in it? It's funny you said that because he like literally made a point about how many chambers.
Yeah, I know. I watched
And-
the same fucking
and,
documentary. I love beavers.
Really? Okay.
Of course,
And
yes.
it's thought that this one was passed down through up to 15 generations. That makes it older than the state of California. And it's like,
Yeah.
there's no way for you to know any of this. How
I've blown-
could you know? Those sticks aren't that old.
It's because the layers. I've blown up a lot of beaver dams. It's
Maybe
fun.
they can.
Have you really?
Yeah, with tannerite.
What's
It
the
makes you more of a
for
terrorist
fun
than anything.
or for like purpose?
Both.
Wait, what's the purpose? I could imagine fun.
Fun.
Well, they're blocking a creek. They're damming up the creek, and now your land floods. My dad's property has like creeks intersecting kind of throughout it, and they dam one of them up, and all of a sudden now, when there's a big rain, big area of the field would flood out or whatever. But also, it's fun blowing something up.
Yeah.
stuff that bitch full of tannerite and
each
Everything explodes and
chamber.
it's good stuff. It's also fun to shoot the beavers.
I'm glad Taylor
allowed to
left
do
before that came up. He's a big fan.
Who doesn't like beaver?
No one jumped on the Blade suicidal thing, and it's still stuck in my head. Does anyone else see that as like an underlying?
Where do you hear that he's suicidal?
I made it up. Yeah, just to be clear.
I thought you were just making a joke.
No, this is a guy who's drank himself to diabetes. And I'm influenced by Boogie, who's come on the show and said that his morbid obesity was a slow-acting suicide, which I think I heard from another heavy person too. And I'm just looking at Blade and thinking that his slow alcohol thing is an acceptance of the fact that he's okay with a life that ends at, I don't know, 40. And
I think he's just a man that really likes Jaeger. I don't know. That's what we've got here. This is a guy who,
I think Woody, your point requires a little bit more reflection, right? Like that's like step 3. If you only want to think to step 2, does it mean that you want step 3, or does it just mean you're not fucking paying any attention to
you've
that?
accepted step 3. I don't know. It's just like I think
you had another guy on here on the PKA. I can't remember his name. Shoe something.
Shoe Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Shoe Nice. He's not. His end looks very similar, in my opinion.
Boogie's much more of a thinker than Shoe Nice seems to be.
Sure, but this guy, judging only from his teeth picture,
I think of Blade as a thinker also.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know him.
I won't ask you to step in, but yeah, I think of Blade as a thinker too, and just a guy who's accepted that while most people wouldn't want to go here, he's like, fuck it, I'll go. And
I don't think he's thinking about much at all. I think he stays drunk most of the time and sort of like falls forward through life, just what, he's never struck me as a real,
But what he was saying, the opposite.
Drinks
what he was saying,
drinks and he screams and he parties.
So why is he doing it, Woody? If he's thinking, why?
Why is he doing it?
Yeah.
Well, he's addicted, and there's like a pleasure-pain balance, and the pleasure he gets from taking the wrong road is worse than the pain that he gets from taking the right road. And he's just not looking the long term at the pain it takes to go to the right way. Maybe I didn't lay that out right? But I think a lot of people make decisions to skip class, to go to class, etc. There's a short-term pleasure-pain equation and a long-term one. And he's putting too much emphasis on the short one and has decided that if that leads to suicide, fuck it, I'll accept that. It's still the winning equation for him. Like there is no long-term pain. There's just death.
Even you think with like losing a leg, that wouldn't be a wake the fuck up moment for most people?
I've had that.
Like it would be for most people.
Takes less alcohol to get drunk.
Sure.
I've had that same thought process. Like, how is this not his wake-up call? How is this not his wake-up call? I could even understand it when it was the first little sore. It didn't look as serious to me as it did to everybody else. And then it was a bigger sore, and then it's like multiple large, deep sores. And, I'm like, whoa, all right. So this is real, like, even to my untrained eye who keeps looking at this through a favorable light, this looks like foot-losing shit. But, that didn't wake him up. The teeth aren't waking up.
I do think it has to go a really long way before he'll actually lose the foot. I was watching, when I was in prison, I think it was either people doing crocodile or something similar. It's this intravenous drug that they do in Russia a lot, and it makes your flesh rot. And this guy had been shooting it, I think, into his foot, but I just remember like he unbandages the foot, and the doctor's like, it looks atrocious. Like imagine a foot that looks blackened and like splotchy and like rotten.
Exposed bone?
A little.
Okay.
A little. Like, yeah. And the doctor's like, oh, this is much better. And I'm like, what the fuck? She's like, yeah, I think you've got a good chance of keeping it, but stay off the crocodile, am I right? And he's like, this is when Alex decided to go score some more crocodile. He's like, she said I'm doing great.
Yeah. I almost broke and Googled what a amputation diabetic foot would look like, but I'm not gonna.
The link goes right to our only use me Blade.
Yeah. But I might at some point I wonder, like, what does a pre-amputation foot look like? How bad does it have to be for diabetes?
I feel like an asshole talking about Blade like this, to be honest. Like I do like Blade as a guy. Like all my interactions with him, like I've really enjoyed his company.
Independent though, right? You can like a guy and still think his decisions are stupid.
I think that's where I am. Where like I wish he would. I'm almost saying these things because I wish that he would stop hurting himself. I am saying them that for that reason. Also because it's funny and that's my job to make people laugh. But I really don't like what he's doing here to himself. It's fucked. It's hard to watch. It's like this is the sort
of like you get some variation of this, like WWF or something, right? Like a WWE rather, right? Like where people are fucking slamming their bodies into shit for the short term of like the money and the payoff and the fucking entertainment and whatever. And there's some iteration of that here, but like this feels worse, right?
Yeah, something about like the kind of harm that he's doing to himself. You know, like a broken leg would be so much better.
Yeah, this is
infinitely better. Some of this might be irreparable, and like I'm not a doctor, you know. We
what?
You know what I'm saying is like everything we know about medical stuff sort of like comes from our internet and Netflix binging and stuff like that. However, like you've got to know that like the difference between an injury that's there because of an external source versus an internal one is vast. You know, like
amputation's a bad thing.
Amputation's a terrible thing.
Yeah, it doesn't grow back.
But point being, but this goes back to Woody's point then. Like,
unless
like, what do you do with this? like, what do you do with it? This person is clearly on a path to something.
There's nothing to be done.
There's nothing to do.
Sure,
like he's his own man.
He can't do like unless he wants to. Like it's like with anyone who's doing coke or drinking, like or an alcoholic or a drug addict, like. You can send them to rehab, you can do all sorts of stuff, but until the day comes where they're like, I want this to stop, nothing's gonna change.
Even
sure,
food.
What's your I don't know, what are you all's relationship? He's been on the show a couple times, a friend of yours?
No, I don't know that he's if he has,
he has been on the show a long time ago.
It's probably been 6 or
really
7 years. I hung out with him at like 2 or 3 events or something like that, and you know, had a couple private conversations. I don't know, he gave me a blunt one time, we smoked that. You know, that's about it. And also I think the real connection is that like we were all kinds of fans of his back in the day. Like we were sort of a community of people who made this Call of Duty content, and everybody tried to pick their own flavor, you know, and some people really excelled at becoming their own flavor. And some people failed it. I think Woody and I were great at creating our own flavors of content, right? Like he had a very specific thing that he.
No one else was in my space. Yeah.
They really weren't. The adult who could sort of educate you on adult things because you're sort of at a coming of age sort of thing. It's nice to get advice from somebody who's actually done these things. And you know, some people went for goofy and zany and funny, and Blade had his own flavor with his thing. He was real chill and laid back. Hey guys, Blade here, and he stabbed people with a knife. So his content is completely different than anybody else's. Everybody, the one thing that everybody did, he doesn't even do. And, you know, so we're kind of fans of his back there. I watched his content very regularly. And now to see, you know, like 10 years later, and he appears to have his teeth rotting out of his head. He appears to be very unhealthy. He's got some sort of necrosis on his foot. And he's surrounded himself with people who think that's funny.
Yeah.
And so, you know.
Use it for content.
Yeah. It's real fucked up. It really is. I can't imagine being one of the people who watches the stream and laughs about it. Like there's something about the separation of being here and discussing it. But like, I don't know. I see like, I've seen clips of them like in his chat, and like you can read the chat, and they're like, poor Jaeger in the wound. And I'm like, oh my God. And they did pour Jaeger in the wound.
Did it help?
Yeah, it healed right up.
Okay. See that you probably feel foolish now.
What if he lit it on fire?
Yeah, if he puts it like Rambo, he put a little gunpowder.
Yeah.
That's how you heal it.
It wouldn't be that bad. It'd kill any infection in there. It'd cauterize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it wouldn't make blood start flowing again.
It'd stop
you
the blood
run out
from
of
flowing.
content when you run out of limbs then? With the model like that?
Eventually you will if you're diabetic and you don't do anything about it and you drink the sugariest liquid on earth.
I think Taylor was the one that said he was going to be like Oscar Pistorius. He was going to be only use me Blade Runner.
Yeah, only use me blade legs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and that could be the next chapter here. Not
What if he
likely.
became like a Paralympic athlete? That's where this went, and it all came full circle. And he was like, back in the day, I had people left and right saying, "Put the bottle down, put the bottle down." Well, look at me now, world. 3 gold medals, beautiful wife. I'm the fastest man on blades. Like he's already got the social media presence. Everything's already named. Only use me blade. He's on a box of Wheaties. Just
someone's got to Photoshop
that. He's just fucking fit. He's ripped. He's literally the fastest man alive. Because I think those Blade Runner guys run faster than just a regular runner.
Powers. Yeah. The only people who can compete with them,
none of them have come
retention.
I haven't ejaculated in 4 years.
I don't think they are.
I run
faster
65 miles per hour.
But there's
only
no
the
way to
Beaver
know.
could keep up.
I'm pretty sure that they're not only faster, Woody, but much faster.
I think the world speed record for using those blade legs is 37 miles an hour. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It sounds right.
That does sound right.
It's almost unbelievable.
Not for me. I could easily believe that.
You put a Kenyan in those things? He's getting pulled over by the cops. He's going so fast.
Happens a lot.
And they're not taking him alive.
Even when he's stationary.
He's got a knife or something on his leg.
Weapons down. It's like that Edward Scissorhands scene.
You put them on their arms, they run like cheetahs, they go feral. Yeah. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, put them on their arms. That's an interesting idea. Get them running on quadrupeds. Yeah.